Everyone, it's Christian Fuchs here. I would like to say a big thank you to our fans and keep having our back for the upcoming Premier League season as well as the Europa League. Keep watching Leicester Fan TV. They have the latest news and they keep you up to date on leicesterfantv.com. So stay tuned and thanks for your support.
Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. Here we go on another away day view. It's Arsenal. We've got Robbie from AFTV. We'll bring him on in a second, just after a note from our sponsors.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. With special thanks to our pals at ADT Taxis, Feedme, Piglet's Pantry, Tiger, Leicester Garage Conversions, Pink Vehicle Leasing, Hologram, The Fox's Arms, Moyer Wade Interiors, and our chosen charity, Memphis UK. We bring you the fans' views on the match each week, and your views matter to us. Join the fans debate each match with us. Follow us at Leicester Fan TV.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Away Day Show on a Saturday afternoon when we should all be watching football in a ground, but we're not. So the next best thing is to talk to Robbie from Arsenal about the game tomorrow. Let's bring him in. Hi, Robbie. How are you?
How you doing? Where are you?
I'm in Alcudia. I'm in Mallorca. I live in Mallorca, mate.
I'm looking at it, I'm like, that looks nice there. I can see sun shining in the background. No, that's not Leicester.
Definitely not Leicester. It's I've spoke to my friends in Leicester today, and it's absolutely belting down there. So I've been here 16 years now, so it's better to be here. I can't see a cloud in the sky. Oh, there's one little one up there at the minute, but other than that,
you're making us feel bad now. Well, I can tell you, where I am, it's windy and it's cold. So
we all need a bit of sunshine in our lives now and again, don't we?
We do.
Right. We spoke a few weeks ago, just before the cup game. I think the sides are going to be totally different. So, what do you think? How do you think your team's going to set up this week? Because you had the cup game on Thursday night in the Europa League, same as us.
You know what? It's a kind of difficult. I think a lot of the fans would like to see us go with 4-3-3. But I do get the feeling that maybe the manager might still stick to his sort of trusted formation, which is the three defenders at the back, three at the back with two wing backs, the two midfielders, and then three up front. I think the reason why I think he might do that is the worry over Vardy. I think, Leicester, very quick counter-attacking team. If you play a bit too high up the pitch, they get that ball up in behind, up into Vardy, and probably he's looking at it and saying, I don't want to get David Luiz isolated up against Jamie Vardy, you know what I mean? So I reckon he'll stick with the three, but I'm hoping that he goes with a 4 and is a bit more attacking, because I feel that's the one criticism we as Arsenal fans have had about Mikel Arteta in recent weeks, is that we've been a little bit too on the negative side. I felt that when we played Liverpool, we was a bit negative. When we played Man City the other day, we showed him a bit too much respect as well. So I'm hoping that we, now that we're playing at home, that we're a bit more on the front foot in this game. Looking forward to the game though.
Because Jamie Vardy does like a goal against Arsenal, doesn't he? I think it's 8 in 8 now he's scored.
Jamie Vardy, there's certain players, Vardy, Harry Kane's another one, Aguero. He's got that always, you know what I mean? And Vardy always seems to score against us. So I think we're going to be very wary of him. But in the defence at the moment, the new defender that we brought in Gabriel has been brilliant since he's come in. He's really looked the part. He is quick, very strong and very rugged, good in the air, good at passing. He's been a great signing, and so I think he'll relish being up against Jamie Vardy. But Jamie Vardy, I think every Arsenal fan will tell you we rate him. He's quality, and he always gives us problems. So it's going to be very testing times.
What about injuries for you this week? What do you think? Because you've got a couple of injuries, haven't you? Will.i.am. Well, it is near enough Will.i.am, isn't it? And there's I can't pronounce his name. My pronunciation is Caballos or Calibel. Yeah. Are they still fit? Or are they injured? Or
I'm not 100% sure of the position on them. I think there's slight doubt. So I think I'd expect one or two of them to figure in that game. They're not major doubts. So I'd especially Ceballos. I think we could, if Willian's out, we can cope with that. I think Ceballos has been playing well, so it'd be good to see him. And again, he's one of those very forward-thinking midfielders, so it'd be great to have him in the team. But even if both of them are missing, at the moment the squad is quite strong, so I think we could cope with those two being out.
See, our squad is threadbare at the minute. I mean, we've got Soyuncu out, Ndidi, Pereira, Daniel Amati. And good news for you, Vardy, he's a bit 50-50 for tomorrow. We're not sure.
I don't want to hear it, right? Because every time, I remember we played Liverpool the other day, right? And they were like, Mane, 60-40 that he'll play, 60 that and he comes on, he scores. I'm like, no. So anytime I hear those things, I just ignore it. I know Sionchu's out, and I think that would be a massive miss for you guys because, personally for me, one of the best defenders I saw last season. Really good, really adapted to the Premier League really well. I think that would be a big miss. But I saw that comment there that you guys have got that Fofana.
Fofana, yes.
Really strange, that one, because he played alongside Saliba last season.
Right, yeah.
Etienne. And he's sort of straight into your team, and with us, we're sort of Mikel Arteta saying that Saliba's not quite ready, but it's a bit of a strange one that. But I think I haven't seen Fofana yet really in the Premier League, but I know that Sionchu's big shoes to fill.
He will be a big loss. Well, Sionchu stepped into Maguire's shoes last year, no problem. We got better defensively last year once we sold Maguire. But Fofana,
what I've seen of Maguire recently, I think I could step into his shoes as well.
I think we both could, mate. Anything's better than a fridge at the minute at the back, an £80 million fridge at the back. But Fofana, a lot of Leicester fans were a bit worried. A 19-year-old for 30 million, but he looks like he's got an old head on young shoulders because the two games he's played against Villa last week and against Zahoya, I can't pronounce the second name, in the Europa League. He looked quality. He was up. He was heading every ball. He was just not diving, just nipping in front. He was reading the game very well. So hopefully for 30 million, I think we've got a bit of a bargain.
Yeah, he had a great partner. It's funny because it was him and Saliba. Saliba's supposed to be looked upon as the better of the two, and we got him a lot cheaper actually, but then loaned him back.
Yeah.
I think in the case of Saliba, they had a great partnership, the two, him and Fofana, at Saint Etienne last year. But I feel they were saying that Saliba had quite a few injuries. Then he came back in, was playing, and then obviously the French league shut down early.
Yeah.
They're saying that at Arsenal they want to see him get more games because there was even talk of they were going to send him out on loan. Again, so but I know that those two did have a good partnership at Saint Etienne, and both very young, top quality players. So
yeah, he looks good for us. He looks good. Like I say, a bit worried. 30 million. 30 million is a lot for a 19-year-old. But do you think there'll be much of a? I mean, because we played Thursday night. You were in. Where were you? You were at Austria, weren't you? On Thursday night, and we were at home. Do you think it's going to be difficult? What kind of game do you think it's going to be with having such a short turnaround?
Well, I think at Arsenal now we should be used to this. So it's the past few seasons now we've been in the Europa League Thursday night, Sunday, and I'm just glad really that you guys also had a game as well. So it's a level playing field. There's no team that's going to have more preparation than the other team, and even going to Austria is not like you've got to fly back from Russia or Azerbaijan or things like that. That's what we were having to do a lot of times last year, then play a game. And it's early in the season anyway. I always look at it and say early in the season, these players should be ready and prepared for this. So, and we're at home. So that's also an advantage to us in that way. So I just feel that I don't think that's going to come into it because both teams had the same thing. Both teams had games that they won. So, it's a level playing field. But
I think Chappie wants a word with you just there, Robbie.
Nice. Oh yeah, I think he was. He did a FIFA. Yeah. Well, we give you the FIFA. But on the pitch, that's where we're going to do our business. You guys can have the FIFA.
He ain't stopped talking about that since yesterday. That's all he's been on about in our group chat. This, that, and the other. And, he didn't tell us the result to start off with. He kept that secret. But as soon as it went out, that's when he told. And we haven't. It's been everything.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He was good. But we'll give you the FIFA one. We'll give you the FIFA.
I think I'd rather get something from Highbury again. There, I said Highbury again from the Emirates. Talking of Highbury, we haven't actually beat you since 1973 at your place. 47 years. 47 years ago. So what do you think we can do to beat you? Is there any advice you can give us? I think Brendan might be watching, so tell us the truth.
Well, listen, I saw what you guys did at Manchester City, and you were brilliant that day. And I thought, it was a very disciplined performance to start off with. You got back into the game, and then you never looked back. You were very positive in that game, and so Leicester are a serious threat. Yes, we do have a great record against you guys, and we have a great record at home, actually. Fantastic record at home. We've lost very little at home recently. So Arsenal, I think, will be confident going into the game, but I think also wary because we know we're up against a good side. And I think it's the counter-attacking football that Leicester play that we're going to have to be very wary of. Because you, as we know, Vardy, Barnes, all these sort of guys on the counter, on the break, we're going to have to be very, very wary of that.
Just another thing about tomorrow night's game, pay-per-view. What do you think to that? Because we've been stung twice, last week and this week. That's 30 quid a lot of people are going to have to pay for that. I think it's absolutely disgusting. I really do. We did a podcast about it a couple of days ago, and we're saying it's disgusting. That's the word to describe it. You've got fans that already can't get to go to games, already suffering, and then I think this is really taking advantage of football fans. Charging £14.95. And I remember that's only to fans in the UK. It's still around the world. You get to watch it. I pay over £100 for my Sky and BT package. Yeah.
Why should I then have to pay an additional £14.95 per game? And I like to, obviously, my team's Arsenal, but I like to watch football. Last night I really wanted to watch that Villa versus Leeds game.
Dirty Leeds.
Yeah, but I said to myself, you know what? No, I'm just going to wait for the highlights to come on.
Was that pay-per-view last night then?
That was pay-per-view.
Oh, was it? I didn't realise that.
Yeah, that was pay-per-view. There's another game. I was just watching a bit of the City West Ham game. I've been watching that. There's another game coming on. I think it's Fulham versus Fulham West Brom, or Fulham are playing someone. That's pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And then our game, pay-per-view. I think it's an absolute disgrace. I think it's disgusting. And you've got to remember this as well. It's not even like you can go around to a mate's house and watch it, because with the COVID rules, you shouldn't be going to mix. You should be staying with a family of 6. You shouldn't really be going to mix in another household, they say. Yeah. So you can't even do that. So, and even that, I just think it's an utter disgrace. It's an own goal by the football authorities. And, do they not know that people at this night, thousands of people have lost their jobs because of this pandemic. Thousands of people are suffering, want a bit of relief. All right, I've been stuck in my house for a few days. Let me watch football. Oh, it's $14.95. Oh, come on, I think it's disgusting. I really do.
It's a lot to do with mental health as well, is it? Because people look forward when you could go to the ground. When you're allowed to go to the stadium in the old normal, you could go to the ground, you could release a bit of tension, enjoy it, have a couple of beers with your mates. Now you can't even do that, can you? And having to pay another 14 quid or 15 quid, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I know Leicester are trying to do with, there's a few groups ourselves, Leicester Fan TV, we're trying to get people to donate to the Vichai Foundation or the Memphis Christmas Kids charity to give 500 presents to disabled and disadvantaged kids. So we're trying to get people to do that, donate the 15 quid if they can afford it, or donate something towards it. It's the same. I think Newcastle have done the same thing to food banks. I think other clubs have done, which is a cracking idea.
Yeah, Newcastle did it. I think Arsenal fans are doing it this weekend as well. I think one of the Arsenal groups have been encouraging fans to do that as well. Ultimately, they know they've got us, don't they? Sunday night, we'll moan about it, we'll cuss, we'll say we're not going to watch it. It will get to like, 6:30, and you'll be like, I have to watch it. And you get, but I just think it's disgrace. And what are they going to do this from now till the end of the season? 14.95.
Well, the Man City derby's on soon, isn't it?
People go out there and get dodgy boxes and stuff like that. I just feel this is disgraceful.
Yeah, Sky will lose a lot of money. A lot of people will go to the old, so you say, dodgy boxes that we're not allowed to say, we're not allowed to talk about because they're illegal.
But yeah, people will be getting those now.
Yeah, they will do.
As I said, my package, I pay about £100, and then now, that game last night, 14.95, and the amount of football I watch, like when they've been showing it free, I've had days I've just like got up in the morning and watched football literally the whole day. But I just don't see, I heard my son was playing football this morning, and one of the parents told me that the other night, that game Burnley West Brom, it was only about something like, they reckon 70 odd people watched.
75. I've heard that. Yeah, 75.
I mean, if that's true, that's absolutely shocking. What it's such an own goal, this, and I hope that maybe this goes on for a couple of weeks and then they just disband it.
I mean, like you say this afternoon, it's Fulham Palace.
It's greed. It's greed.
Fulham Palace this afternoon. How many people are going to watch that? How many people are going to pay 15 quid on a Saturday afternoon?
I won't be. I'll be honest with you. If that had been a free game, I probably would have watched it.
Yeah, I probably would have.
I probably would have watched it. Right? I would have. It's Saturday. Our game's tomorrow. I've got like a day off. I probably would have just, got a beer and watched that game because I enjoy watching football. Yeah. But there is no way I'm paying £14.95 for that game. I'll wait until match of the day later on to watch it, or you can watch the highlights later on YouTube. Even. I'm not going to pay. And as I said, it's just yet again the greed of football. Yeah. And one day that bubble was just going to. I honestly feel that when this. When we kind of come out of coronavirus, we will. I just keep saying we focus on saying be positive. Yeah. We will. When we start going back to football, I feel that there's a lot of fans that are going to start saying, you know what, I'm not going to get a season ticket. I've become used to not going. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the games I want to go to. I'm not always going to go to religiously like I did every week. So if maybe it might come down to it that football clubs are going to have to start earning the fans back. Yeah. They have to start doing stuff to get fans back in. So, because at the moment they just take us for granted. And this pay-per-view thing for me is an absolute disgrace. It's shocking.
Yeah,
shocking.
Like you say, it's going to drive people away. I really do. I think it's disgusting. For me, it's slightly different over here being in Alcudia, New York. It's slightly different. I get a chance to watch the games on Spanish TV, so it's not too bad. But people in America and Canada, they could pay £5 extra a month and watch every single game free of charge. Well, not free of charge. You're paying a £5, but you're paying, 50 cents per game, something stupid like that. So,
you know what? Even if they'd have done something like that and said, right, for the course of time whilst the pandemic's on, pay an extra £15 for the month. Every single game. That might have went down better.
That wouldn't have been too bad. Paying an extra 10, 15 quid, like you say, yeah, fine, not a problem. To get every game.
To me, it's like they've sat down there and they've rubbed their hands together and said, this is a pay-per-view opportunity. Because I watch a lot of boxing, and I've steadily seen boxing go from where it used to be about a £5 to 10 to 14.95 to 20. Now they're even charging like £25 sometimes for fights.
Yeah. Talking of boxing, I remember watching Tony Simpson and Alan Minter back in the late 70s, early 80s. I wasn't a big fan of boxing, but it was fantastic. It was free. And then all of a sudden, Tyson and Bruno came on, and that's when it started to get into the old pay-per-view and satellite channels and stuff like that. So I can see football going that way eventually, unfortunately.
I feel it's even worse with football because, you know what, with boxing, they'll only really do pay-per-view for the very biggest fights. And then that's not every week. It would be like, a big fight will be on the horizon happening in, December, and they'll advertise that well in advance, pay-per-view, Anthony Joshua versus. But these guys with football, they're doing this now. There's like 3 pay-per-view games this weekend. So if you wanted to watch all 3 of those, that's like £45.
45. go on something else totally, take your family out, something else, treat the missus to a nice meal or something, but instead you'd want to watch the football instead of treats now. I can understand that sometimes.
I think with me, what my stance will be is obviously the Arsenal games. Well, we cover those games and we do our watch along. So obviously those I'm going to pay for.
Yeah.
Every other game, I'm not paying for it. I'll just wait for the highlights. I'm not going to do it. That would be my boycott. I just think it's not right. It is not right that, yet again, football fans, no matter what team you support, whether it's Leicester, Arsenal, I don't care. We're getting ripped off.
Oh, yeah, big time. Big time. And they'll lose out in the future, won't they? Because the younger generation will say, well, I can watch it on the TV. Why do I need to go? The no young fans are going to be able to go through to the games. I mean, I used to go with my dad back in the late 70s, early 80s. It used to be one of the highlights of every fortnight. It was every fortnight. Go with my mum or my dad. Absolutely fantastic. But nowadays, I don't think the kids want to go anymore because they can just click on the box and watch it.
Yeah, this is another thing I've been saying for a long time, that young fans have been priced out of football, and and they've had years of not going. So now, what's going to happen when, in say, I don't know, 15 years time, or 20 years time, where we don't go no more because we're too old? Those younger people who weren't used to going every week might say, well, I've never been used to going every week anyway, so I'll just go every now and again if I want. The greed of football could be its undoing. We've got I love the Premier League. I love the whole Premier League. Look at all this thing we're talking about, Super Leagues and that. I don't want to go and watch Arsenal, even though Arsenal will probably be one of those teams in it. I don't want to go and watch Arsenal play Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern week in, week out. I'd rather watch Arsenal play Leicester. And then if you have a further Champions League type thing, fair enough. I don't want a Super League. This is the English Premier League. I like going to Leicester. I like going to Manchester. I like going to Burnley. I like going around the country to follow my team. I want to be the best team in this country first. Then you can tackle Europe. You know what I mean? I don't want to be playing Bayern Munich and PSG and these teams every week just because money. No, that's not what football's about.
It will totally devalue the Premiership, La Liga, Bundesliga, in France, La Liga in France, and that it will totally devalue if the big boys go. The Premiership will not be the same.
Well, you know what? They're trying to turn like football into FIFA 21. You know what I mean? That's what they're trying to do. Where it's that game tomorrow being shown pay-per-view is a disgrace.
I think Ross has got a good thing. Save the Europa League and for games like PES and FIFA, not for real life. I think that's right, isn't it?
I mean, because that's what they're trying to play out at the moment. They're trying to, but I would personally be bored with playing Bayern Munich and these type of teams every week. I'd be bored. I want to play the teams around me. I want to play. I don't want a London derbies. I want to play. You know what I mean? I want to be up against your Vardis and people like that. I don't want to be. Save that to the European game. What's wrong with how it is now?
There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I think it's fine.
The only reason they want to change it is because of money. End of. Simple. That's the only reason.
I mean, we were in that Champions League spot last year for so long. We dropped out and only got the Europa League, the Thursday night league. But I sat there and watched that game on Thursday night, and I enjoyed every single. It was a European game, and I think if the big boys go out of the into the Super League, the Champions League wouldn't be the same if there was such a thing as a Champions League, and the competition would be devalued so much. The whole, not just the league structure, but the European structure, the league structure, the UEFA Cup and the Champions League will be ruined totally. So I'm with you there, Robbie.
Yeah, and if you look at who are driving this, some of the owners of some of these clubs that are driving it are American owners, right?
Yeah.
And obviously in America, the way the sports is structured is different. But, no disrespect to America, and I speak to fans in America all the time, and even those fans in America that follow the Premier League don't want it to change. They don't want it to change. That's why they love watching it, because of what it is. So those owners, they're only looking at it from money. That's all they're looking at. How can we squeeze more money out of this? It's what really upsets me about football nowadays, it's all about money.
Yeah.
As far as it's all about money. We're losing a lot of the real essence of what, you know, and like that guy said there, you know what I mean? It's true. In American sports, you know, there's no relegation and things like that. But this is what I like about our sport, that you could get relegated and it doesn't matter who you are.
I mean, you think Man U last year were not nearly relegated, but they started so badly. Everyone was thinking, oh, could Man U go? Was it last year or the year before? Could Man U go down? Are they in trouble? It gives you that enjoyment of seeing one of the big clubs go down.
The year before you guys won. You nearly went down.
Great Escape season. How ridiculous was that?
Right. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. This thing, you know, oh, no relegation. Honestly, no, I don't. Leave our thing alone, right? Because that's why the Premier League has this appeal all around the world. It's loved. I've been around the world watching football, and every time I meet these fans, they love the Premier League for what it is. Why are we trying to change it into this sort of Harlem Globetrotters type? You know, I don't like it. I don't like all this stuff, and I'm not a person that's against change. I do feel that every now and again you have to change things to keep relevant, but some of these changes that are being proposed, they're only about money. That's it.
Yeah, very
money.
True.
How can we squeeze another 10 million out of it?
Yeah.
Right. Kill the game.
We've tried to put the worlds to right over the two issues neither of us like, I think, at all. One quick question before we finish. The score tomorrow. And the score tomorrow, and one person that's going to make a threat to you from our side.
Well, I fancy us tomorrow. We got a great home record against you guys. Even when you won the league, we beat you that season.
You beat us twice, and we still finished 10 points above you.
Yeah. Away at the King Power, you always seem to do us, but I think at home, I'm confident. You know, Thomas Partey's coming and he looked brilliant during the week. Obviously, that was Austria-Vienna. And we had that was quite a testing game during the week because they were quite a decent little team, Austria-Vienna as well. So I fancy us. I'm going to go 3-1 to Arsenal. But obviously Vardy.
If he's playing, just think he's 50, Robbie. Just think of that. He might not be playing. Church is tomorrow morning, pal. Not on a Saturday afternoon. Well, I'm going to go for my usual. I mean, we've only got 1 point in the last 13 games against you guys at your place. I think lost 12, and I think we drew. Was it last year we drew 1-1 with you there? I think it was 1-1 last year, wasn't it? I think that was the only point in 13 games we've got. Vardy scored there last year as well, didn't he? I think.
As usual.
Yeah. So I'm going to stick my neck out and go and sit on the fence and have a 2-2 draw.
Okay.
That's what I think. To be honest, Rob, that's what I do. My away predictions, 9 times out of 10 are 2-2 because I think getting a away point in the Premier League is absolutely brilliant no matter where you go.
No, I fancy it. And also, I think this as well, that the last couple of games you've had, in the Premier League hasn't gone too well for Leicester. I was so impressed when I saw you guys play at City, but it's kind of fallen off a bit since then. So.
Yeah. Well, you beat us in the Cup, then we lost to West Ham, and then we lost to Villa. And we hadn't scored until the other night, so we'd gone literally 3.5 games before we scored. So,
and the one thing I would say with Arsenal at the moment, we're defending a lot better, maybe to the detriment of our attack, but we've been defending a lot better in our recent times. So
we won 2. Oh, that's at home.
That's home. Those are home results.
Yeah, he's getting a bit mixed up. There. Yeah. It was definitely 1-1 at your place last year. Certain. Right, so you've gone for a dodgy 2-1 win. I'm sitting on the fence.
3-1.
Oh, you went 3-1. Sorry, I misheard you. We had a 3-1 against you a couple of years ago. I think Chilwell scored the first goal, and then you stuffed us out of sight. I've just thought of something. One last question. Mesut Ozil, what's happening with him?
Oh.
Well, I just thought about it.
You said Vardy might not play. Ozil definitely won't be playing. I can tell you that.
He's a quality player. What's happened?
It's a total mess. Basically, I don't know. Nobody looks great in this. The club want him out. They've been trying to squeeze him out for a long time. He's dug his heels in. and now it's got quite ugly, to be honest. And it's horrible to see. I feel for the player because not because I feel he should be playing, because I do feel his best days are behind him, and I do feel it is time for him to move on. But I don't really like the way he's been. I think, leaving him completely out of every squad and saying this football reasons, that's not us. Can't. We've had games where we've created very little, and nobody could tell me that he wouldn't be a decent player to have at least on the bench. But his contract runs out at the end of the season, and they're just basically trying to squeeze him out. And hopefully they can come to some sort of compromise, and maybe he can move on in January.
But if he goes in January, who's going to pay for the mascot, the dinosaur? So he's paying his wages, isn't it?
Well, even that, I think that infuriated the club, or even things like that, where he said he'd pay for. I look at it on the guy who does that mascot. He also has a bigger job around the club, and that's the job he lost. I think the Gunnosaurus thing that he used to do was almost voluntary.
Yeah.
So, it's his main job that he's lost. That's the issue, as far as I'm concerned. And that's all because of the whole coronavirus stuff. But I don't know. Listen, it's the whole thing with Ozil's just a bit unsavoury. And I feel that the club and him need to sit down, come to some sort of compromise, let him go. He goes, so he's not in the headlines around Arsenal, and Arsenal just get on and do what they're doing.
Yeah. Do you think it's a bit of a bag egg? Do you think he's causing a few problems within the players, or is it just him causing a problem?
Yeah, I've heard some little rumours, but it's hard to say, because they're just little rumours.
Yeah.
The day when he announced that, he put that announcement out about him not playing, there was a lot of players that supported him. So are those rumours true that sometimes there's a lot of players that don't really get on with it? I don't think that's true somehow. He seems to have a good relationship with a lot of the players at the club. Certainly when he didn't take the pay cut, I think that was the beginning of the end for him. A lot of people say it's because of what he spoke up for the Uyghur Muslims in China. And, that upset the Chinese, and then the club had to come out and make a statement and stuff like that. And, I didn't blame him for doing what he did there. You've got to commend him, as him being a Muslim himself, you've got to commend him for coming out and speaking up about that. But I think what really wound the club up, because a lot of people cite that as the problem, but he did actually do that earlier in the year, and he was still playing loads of games up until the lockdown. But when he refused to take that pay cut, I feel that was where they've gone really angry at him, because as the highest earner, not taking, one of only 3 players in the whole squad not to take a pay cut.
Oh, right, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think that they just turned around to him and thought to himself, right, you ain't playing no more. And that's what I thought.
Right, yeah. I didn't know this. I didn't know it was so detailed. I thought it was just him and Arteta having a bit of a fallout. But it seems like it's gone further.
I really don't think it's got nothing. I mean, even though Arteta's come out and he said it's his decision, I think if you was to do a survey of most Arsenal fans, they don't think it's got nothing to do with Arteta. This has come from the very top. He ain't playing no more. Don't consider him. That's how I feel.
Right, fair enough. If the board, that's Arteta's boss above him, innit? So if they say it, got to try, even though it's like cutting your nose off to spite your face. Because I think he's a quality player, and he's still got a few years. I mean, he's only 30 odd, and he's not that old, is he?
He just turned 32, actually.
Oh, is that old, is he?
So yeah, he just turned 32, but he's still a quality player. He's still, he's still our most creative player in the side. But as I said, I just feel that his days. Well, his days are numbered. He's been left out of the Premier League squad. He's been left out of the Europa League squad. Where's he going to play? So they're not going to bring him back. There's no chance they're going to bring him back. So I just feel sit down, come to a compromise, move on. That's the best compromise.
Yeah. All right, then, Robbie, it's been much appreciated for your time on a Saturday afternoon when we could be doing a lot of other better things like watching football instead of talking about it.
At least talking to you is free. It doesn't cost 40.
Well, yeah, it doesn't cost 40. Well, I could start charging it, but I don't think many people would listen to me charging it. All right, then, Robbie.
$40.95 for the watching.
I don't think many people would want to watch me for £14.95. Not even four pence. I very much doubt it. Anyway, Robbie, been much appreciated, and I'll speak to you again soon, pal.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Thank you, Robbie. There's Robbie Lyle, AFTV. Great chat about Arsenal. He's gone for 3-1. I went for a 2-2. So hopefully we'll see tomorrow. That's a bye from me in the fan zone, and I'll see you tomorrow morning on the Fox's aftermath pre-match show, whatever you want to call it, to be honest, because we're playing too many Sunday games for my liking. I'll see you tomorrow morning, lads and lasses.